But even then, we were freaking out about the sale of the old house, and you were like, "Well, this is what we're gonna do," and you had a game plan, and I was like, "Well, good thing somebody does, because I have no idea what we're gonna do right now."
Well, I'm Mackenzie Gonzalez, and
I'm Travis Gonzalez.
this is Riley. Riley.
And this is Osias.
All right, and how old is he?
He is 3, and she is 1.
I work for Pepsi, and Travis works for the mines. I've been here since I was probably like 5, and he...
I'm a transplant since like 2013, so
Okay.
Relatively new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we had gotten on Facebook, and we saw that there was an open house, and I'm like, let's go. Yeah. And so we weren't, I don't even think we were looking really. We were bored.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just started
Something to do on a Saturday?
Yeah.
Very much.
Okay.
A few days later, our neighbor's house came on the market, and they were selling for really high. And we were like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, really, we're dreamers. We like to dream the next level. And at the time we met you, we weren't even in that stage. And then, a month later?
Yeah, actually, so a month later, we saw this house. I'm like, I want that. Let's text Erica, because from that open house, you'd had her information, and I think the exact text was like, "Hey, Erica, I want to buy a house," and you were like, "Great." Well, there's so much work that goes on behind the scenes that I was grateful that we didn't have to handle it. But you were so fantastic, and literally, like, by the time we were like, "What about this?" You're like, "Oh, that's already handled."
Yeah.
Like we had 0 worries the entire process, really.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
It's definitely affected our lives for the better. It was chaos for a second as we tried to move in, and with the closing of one house and the selling of another, and then the closing of that, and I'd say that overall we are happy. There was some minor stress with our selling process that was literally beyond any control of yours. I mean, with a couple offers falling through, that would scare anybody going through this process.
That was scary.
You know, then we had some home repairs, which again, like, I think this was our first time selling, but any seller would kind of be like, ugh, lame. Yeah, fixing our
What
house.
you gotta do in the long run, it'll work for it.
Yeah. The home we found was like kind of our dream home.
Yeah. That dream of, I want to have kids nearby and a neighborhood feel with land on the cul-de-sac. Very weird concoction, but we found it.
Yeah, perfect.
Well, firstly, I would recommend you to all first-time home buyers. I think our real first time, we ended up kind of doing a for sale by owner. And having the guidance of you, I think, was definitely changing for the overall experience. So I'd say pretty much anyone buying a home for the first time, actually just anyone. I mean, if you're buying a house, just go to Erica. But our jobs don't stop when we're trying to buy a house. But I will say this: like, you responded to our texts at the most odd hours. Like, if I texted you at 8:30 at night, you responded at like 8:35. Like, you were reachable Monday through Sunday, like 24/7. And I don't feel like I've ever had that kind of...
She doesn't get that kind of attention from me. There's so much that in a first-time home buyer doesn't know, and as a second-time home buyer, we were still like... So I feel like you could be a first-time home buyer all the way up to anybody. So right now, with people coming of age, those people definitely need someone and a team like yours that really knows what they're doing and can explain it and does so much behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you were so easy to get in contact with. I mean, like I said, I texted you and I'm like, let's go buy a house, and you responded back at me like, okay, let's do it. So like, your responsiveness was to die for.